Today we're going to talk about the danger of falling objects. Now, working construction jobs can pose some pretty serious injury and fatality risks and property damage potentials. Very often the risk is for the innocent person who's in the wrong place at the wrong time. So it's very important for us to wear safety protection hard hats, especially when you're in construction zone and especially when people are working above you or there are things above you like lowering loads and things like that, especially if you're connecting. You may have to be underneath some of that. So there are a lot of reports from the labor statistics that date back to 2016 stating that there were 255 fatalities caused by objects falling from above striking a worker. 50,000 workers that estimated by OSHA were hurt by falling objects at construction sites. The item that's harming people doesn't have to be a large item. That's why it's important to wear your protective gear, your personal protective equipment. Something as small as even a small bolt can cause damage. So how can we avoid falling objects? Well, there's some precautions that you can take when you're working in a construction zone to help reduce the risk of items falling. Falling objects can do a lot of harm to people and even cause property damage. Taking the right actions to protect people and to be as safe as possible is vital. So here's some helpful ways to be more aware and proactive on the construction site. First of all, wear your correct PPE. Certain areas may require more protection than others do, but knowing the correct things for your work is important and wearing the right things. We can also use engineering controls. All construction sites should have certain areas that are off limits. The areas of the grounds that are considered high risk for items falling and people getting hurt. Now, we can use CAZs, the right type of barricade or taping is something we can use to make sure no one mistakenly crosses into that space. And there are safety precautions that we can take to the high levels that these workers will be working in. Things like tow boards, safety nets, tethers, anchors, lanyards, safety tool lanyards, and anchors in the necessary areas. This way, falling objects will have less of a chance of striking someone below or damaging property below. Also, the equipment that drops is very likely going to be broken if it's, for example, a hand tool or a impact or a electrical tool, power tool. How can we try to eliminate the hazards? Well, when a worker is working at a high level and using tools that have the potential of falling, we want to try to remove from the area that tool whenever we're done with it, move it, put it back in your tool belt, do whatever you need to do to get it away from where it can be kicked off or pushed. Don't leave tools that are not needed anymore lying around. That really sets the stage for that item to be kicked or pushed off. Then when workers are finished with the tools and materials that they're using, they should be properly stored and put away. This is one way to cut down on a lot of injuries or fatalities from happening. If there's a way you can easily keep people safe, you should take advantage of that opportunity. Taking the responsibility that we need to take to be safe on the job site is important for everyone. PPE is one of those more important things that you can do to help prevent injury, and that is a small step that can make a difference. Various objects can fall. When you think about objects falling and causing a fatality or injury to people below, you generally tend to think about the larger items, materials, tools, but that's not just how it works. Many times injuries and fatalities can be caused by the simplest and the smallest objects. It all depends on where and how and the rate of speed at which it hits someone. Some things that have been known to cause harm are drills and bits, screwdrivers, screws, hammers and nails, scaffolds, paint cans, ladders, boards, power tools, saws, personal items on the worker, spud wrenches in our particular line of work, even drinks or cups that are full of fluid can cause damage. So fatalities can happen from some of these things, even as small as a screw. There's the chance of an injury to anyone who's below the worker. The injuries that can be endured can range from minor to severe. They can cause broken bones or bruises, lacerations or cuts or back injuries or neck injuries. sprains and fractures and permanent damage, concussion, or even a brain in, injury. So try to be observant while you're working on a construction site. It's very important that you're observant of what and who is around you, the tools that are out not being used, the people who are beside or beneath you, the major equipment that's running are all potential risks when not using caution. So a lot of accidents can be avoided when we take responsibility and act with caution and remove whatever recognizable hazards we can see. So if you see a tool or a piece of equipment lying around that could possibly fall or be tripped over, pick it up and move it. If you see a hazard in someone's way, do what you can to speak up. Even if you think it's a small risk or a small problem, you can remove them, and that will go a long way toward helping keeping everyone safe.